Jimmy had an idea and has had an idea for a very long time about writing a screenplay based on his life story, as you know.
My father was my wrestling coach from the time that I was 4 years old till I graduated from high school. My father worked at the coal fields, and he was at the high school every day or at the YMCA coaching us kids. So it made logical sense to go back there and use Pennsylvania.
Shooting it here, it's just a different feeling. We wanted small town mid-America in the fall. You can't get that feeling here. And just being there and looking at the air and looking at the light and looking at the bricks and the town, the streets and the rivers, the coal towns, the shanties, the character, it was all right there.
We used real wrestlers in this film. Actually, originally, we auditioned some Hollywood actors for the roles of the wrestlers. We then, kind of put that on hold. We went back to Pennsylvania and we arranged through the wrestling coaches there to basically have a room full of state champion wrestlers.
And so we're just going to read through this. I don't want any acting. I don't want anything fake. And I told them what I wanted.
Remarkably, the two kids that we used in the film, Danny Macedas, who plays Leo, and Justin Spates, who plays Ellis Jr. in the movie. These guys actually read better than the Hollywood actors.
You ready for the big match tonight, Leo?
Yeah, you?
I don't need to get ready. There ain't a real wrestler within 100 miles of this shithole.
They were more honest, they were more truthful.
They were incredible. Jimmy and I looked at each other and we just went, are you kidding me? It was so beautiful.
And then, of course, on the mat, Justin was ranked #1 in the country at 119 pounds.
Nobody can score a point on him, much less pin him.
9 of the guys that were in our film competed in the state championships the year that we, that year.
I knew these guys. I mean, I knew that if you take 2 wrestlers and put them on a mat and say go, blow a whistle, they're going to go. They can't help themselves. And I knew that if we just planted the camera and shot 2-minute burst, we could put the camera over here, shoot a 2-minute burst, move the camera over on this side, say go. They don't have to match anything. 2-minute burst. Then move the camera again. Do that 3 times, and you've got the coverage where you can go in and edit and put together an incredible montage. A really intense, authentic wrestling that everybody that's ever wrestled in their life would appreciate, because they know the difference. They look at it and they go, those guys are really going at it. And it's been highly appreciated from people, gold medalists, who have seen this film, watch it, and they know that they're watching the truth. And you know what? Even people that haven't wrestled look at it and they know.
We also used some locals in some of the supporting roles of the film. When we were looking for the role of Blaswell in the movie, who you find out later on in the film is the actual high school wrestling coach, we ultimately chose Roger Corcoran, who's the Washington police chief. The doctor in the film is actually the commissioner, Bracken Burns. And Bracken actually was the key for us in terms of giving us a key to the city. When we needed something, it was unbelievable how the town was there for us.
These guys never talk about money. Everybody in Pennsylvania goes, you need something? I go, I need, they go, done, no problem.
Needing a restaurant, the Dairy Queen. We went in, asked the owner, we had the Dairy Queen.
I told Jimmy, I said, there's got to be a high school somewhere in the state of Pennsylvania that has a pristine gym. That's like a cathedral where they haven't changed they restored, built in the 40s, early 50s. There's got to be one somewhere. And so we started searching for that. And somebody said Washington, PA. So we go to Washington, PA, and there it was. The whole film was built around that interior.
The house where Leo and the family lives in, that was a house owned by Ray Dunleavy, and Ray is a local artist, painter in town.
We went down and looked at his house, and what a great house. 3-story, Victorian, hardwood floors, big rooms, a lot of light, a lot of character. We looked at maybe 30 houses to get that one.
These people opened up their home to us, gave us their home, stayed in a hotel while we took run of the house.
this may sound strange, but the car that the coach drove was important to me. And one of Ray Dunleavy's friends, a guy named Alan Cottrell, and he was sitting there and he chewing on this little cigar. He goes, "What can I do?" And I said, "I want the keys to that car." He gave it to me.
The house that we got for Shaw's and Shaw's mother, where they lived, was we needed to find, in my view, a replica of a house that my girlfriend, who whose name is really Cindy Thomas, or was, where she lived. And when me and Cindy met in high school, I had never been to her house. All I had known about her family was, what she told me. We found that house. It was very much like the house that she lived in. Quite a shock to me that I had a different vision of where she lived in real life. To meet her mother for the first time and find out that she virtually never had a dad.
Can you tell me who Shaw was?
I really didn't know how I felt about a lot of things because it was, you still don't believe that something like as tragic as that happened. Our first day of shooting was at the Bronson House. This is a building that's been there for years, and generations upon generations of kids, that's where they go to learn wrestling, to learn boxing.
I wasn't really nervous the first day, and having a support team, 30 people to help you do what you want. I was excited. It's like getting up when you're a little kid, Christmas morning.
Our keys came from Los Angeles, our DP, our line producer, first AD, but our main crew came from Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh crew was fantastic. We were fortunate because the crew we got is the Pittsburgh A crew, if you will. The first scene that we did in the film was of little Leo, at 7 years old, in his tournament, going and competing with the other young wrestlers. The locals back there were amazing. We basically, let the town know that, come and be in the movie. And the fact that it was a wrestling movie, once we got that word out, I mean, the stands were full. They stayed there, 10, 12 hours, and it was just amazing.
Sit down and calm down, because you're probably going to shake like a leaf, okay? Believe me, you may get uncontrollable. Don't panic. Normal.
Jerry Seidman, who plays the mentor in the film, where Danny goes to train, this was not originally in the script.
We're doing our research and looking at locations. This name came up. Have you heard of Jerry Seidman? Have you been to the barn? We're going, what is that?
Frank said, you guys need to go out to the barn.
Get in the car. I'm taking you to the barn.
And I said, what do you mean the barn? He goes, oh, he's got this barn and he brings kids in and makes state champions out of them, and they go off and get college degrees. He loves kids. I meet Jerry for the first time, and when I meet him, he's got this 13-year-old kid in his barn, and the kid is doing a handstand. And as me and Jerry are talking, this kid is on his hands for what seems to be like 20 minutes.
I go back to the production office and I tell my crew, that we're going to be going to the barn, and we're put Jerry Seidman on the cast list, but he'll be there. You don't have to call him. They don't understand any of this. It was so funny. And we go out and they're going, what scene? And I said, don't worry about it, because there's nothing written on paper. I said, just put the camera there. We'll do this on a master. Well, what are we doing? I said, you guys would be standing there, light it, put the camera here. Then you walk in, shake hands, blah, 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 tell any story, walk over there. You guys got it? These are professional athletes. You tell them once, they got it.
My motto is, they hear me, they know where I am, and I tell them.
Shake hands.
It's all yours, man. Take it.
In the original script that we had, Danny actually did not win the elimination match. He lost.
Time. Shake hands. It's cheers, man.
I went back and forth on that one because even though you win and you can go on, that it's still okay to, not go on if you don't want to go on.
When your kid reaches a point of maturity and says, Dad, I want to go a different way,
It's all yours, man. Take it.
I don't want it anymore. You can have it. What do you say? My heart's not in it anymore, Dad.
The kid has already let go and moved on, and it's the parent that has to back off and let go. And let his kid go. And there's an old saying, if you love something, let it go. I want to make almost a documentary feel in terms of reality within a dramatic structure. That's my mission and that's my goal. I want the simple truth. I could have stylistically shot this 100 different ways. Style can overpower a story, it can overpower performance. And I wanted it to be as simple and as effective as possible, but to allow the audience to be able to get into these people and have access to those characters on screen. I didn't want anything to disrupt that or get in the way of that. Hopefully, if I succeed as a director, my work will be invisible. I do not want my work as a director to be visible when this movie is over. If it is, I think I've made a mistake somewhere.
We got to get up at 5. That's in 2 hours. Let's hit the sack. Being able to be involved with the sound mix was an interesting part for me as well. It's an unbelievable feeling to see you finish something like this and see yourself up there on the screen with an orchestra behind the words you're saying. For me, it brought it from amateur to the professional level. He was a good man. He just never really encouraged me to do anything with my life, I always thought that if he'd been there to encourage me, maybe my life would have turned out a whole lot different, After we finished the film, we premiered it at Paramount Pictures, and we invited distributors from the area, and of course family, friends, anybody that wanted to come. And that was the first time the film was screened for the public. We actually had 2 nights of over 300 people each night that came, and that was the height of it for us. That was really the ultimate test of, do we have a film or not? Although we had real people, of course, there, we also had a lot of celebrity sports, primarily athletes, show up. Kurt Angle, the Olympic gold medalist, and of course known for his WWE fame, came along with his wife, Cael Sanderson, who took the time to get on an airplane, fly out to see the film. Kendall Cross, who won the Olympic gold medal, of course, came. Kenny Monday came, Olympic gold medalist. Danny Hodge, Carl Lewis, Shannon Miller. Myron Cope, the voice of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we had all these sports celebrities in attendance at the screening. I mean, the response we got was huge. I mean, people came out of the theater in tears and just grateful and really felt it was great. The major distributors that were there loved the film as well, had great comments. They said, look, if you had Tom Cruise in your movie, we'd pick it up right now. When you have a film that has no stars, and no names, and you don't have violence or sex, it's not an easy sale for distributors. This is the kind of a film that they have to work a little bit. In a weird way, for me, doing this film was a lot of therapy. It got me to go back and look back at my life. There's a lot of things during that time that, because of some of the tragedy that I went through, losing my girlfriend, that I closed the door when I was 18. Here I am 20 years later, and bringing up those memories again.
We've gotten, I don't know, over 10,000 emails. Some of them very poignant about families. This film has impacted them so deeply that they've said that it's opened a communication and a dialogue they never had before and changed their lives.
My father had never read the script, and all my father knew was I was doing a wrestling movie. Here he is sitting in the theater, and it didn't dawn on me till right when the lights went down. I started to realize not only is he seeing this film about my life and his life, he's seeing a portrait of what I feel our life was when I was a child. And the biggest thing for me is after the film, I never saw my dad cry before. He cried and told me he loved me, and we ended up doing the scene from the airport in the theater lobby.
I love you, Dad. I love you more, son.